Speaking as a grizzled completionist of everything FromSoftware has ever inflicted upon humankind, from Demon Souls to Erdtree, I just figured Nightreign would be one more purgatory to persist through. Another video game equivalent of a gobstopper, built hard enough to hurt you, but conquerable and delicious if you just suck at it for a while. But even with that understood, however, this roguelike spin-off still represented a new type of underworld that not even masochistic me was fully prepared for. Because apparently, in the eternal fire of From's abyss of abuse, situated several circles below the pain of Elden Ring and Shadow of the Erdtree, exists a darker place. And that place is called the time-wasting, controller-biting hell of other people. You can totally play Nightreign solo, and it will scale down some. But that's like saying you can steer a car with your feet. You could do it, but it's not to be done. Co-op is what this has really been designed for. But unless you're organised on Discord, or possess the necessary charisma stats to have actual friends, you can expect to have at least a little bit of trouble in your future. Most of you are going to play this with strangers who can only communicate through the mediums of emote and poor life decisions. And, worse, there are penalty systems in place to tether you to these random yahoos for 20 to 30 minute runs. Be that a great and profitable venture, an average result, or some sort of hopeless, pride-swallowing cycle of repeated death that I will never fully tell you about. I cannot stress this point enough at this juncture. When it was firing on all cylinders, and RNGesus was slinging me great randomized gear, and I'd lucked into a 3-player crew of savvy veterans, Nightreign was Game of the Year material. Euphoric. More addictive than heroin pancakes. Conversely, if you are not motivated to set up a posse outside of this game, then there's a way too high chance that the name of this game will become phonetically literal. What should be a pleasant evening in Nightreign shall precipitate into tears. Now before I dive too deep into what makes this beast tick, let's talk plot in a very non-spoiler fashion. You will arrive at the Round Table Hold, a gothic hotel lobby for interdimensional heroes summoned to purge Night Lord avatars across the realm of Limveld. You are not, however, you, as in your beloved creator character from full-priced Elden Ring. Nightreign deals in pre-made heroes, or Nightfarers, who undertake online expeditions. And what are those? They're basically FromSoftware's version of an escape room meets battle royale. You get 2 day phases to farm gear, grind to a 15 level max, and tackle environmental events in a sandbox as you see fit before your entire team is inexorably hemmed into nighttime boss fights. If you're not all killed at once, your run will culminate in a boss battle against something with too many limbs, too much health, and not nearly enough chill. Except the Ice Dragon. He's super cool with everybody. Defeating those behemoths will trigger some cutscenes from From's usual understated but engrossing storytelling style. Plus you'll find out smaller opportunities to find out about your favourite Nightfarer in these multi-part mini questlines.
Have you found any traces of night?
It's all fascinating stuff that I loved, though it has to be said, and the lower recommended retail price probably forewarned you of this, Nightreign's entire tale is nowhere near the length of Elden Ring, nor Shadow of the Erdtree. What you're buying here is something bite-sized, though it's a morsel that had me licking my lips for more repeatedly. Go into this expecting an incredibly replayable and addictive gameplay loop, not gobs of lore. Even if you've only caught a glimpse of Nightreign in action, it's probably abundantly clear to you that this is a zippier beast that looks borderline power fantasy compared to regular Elden Ring. But that's right up until you get too cocky and get your ass handed to you. Nightreign's take on traversal is Elden Ring Express. Surge sprints, vortex lifts, hawk hang gliding points, no fall damage, and wall jumping all make every class in this highly mobile. That said, and this is a minor nitpick right out of the gate, the aforementioned cliff humping mechanic does feel frustratingly imprecise when the chips are down, and that big poison wall is trying to shepherd you to the next objective. Being fleet of foot is just one skill needed to survive any expedition though. Complementing the abilities of your two teammates and selecting smartly from a pool of 5+ Nightfarer classes is also key. There are a few more archetypes that can be unlocked, including the Duchess, who was available in the server test, but I'll leave you to discover those on your own. There aren't too many, so don't get too excited. As you've probably already surmised, Nightfarer classes are more than cosplay options, as each of them brings their own minor and major flavours of carnage, and those can be made spicier still with the application of 3 perk slots filled with these sort of collectible randomised runes. Along with the basic currency, those things are pretty much the only part of you that will survive after a run. My least used hero in this roster was the Recluse. She's a Nubian Queen Gandalf who specialises in magically siphoning from mid-range, typically with poison, frostbite and rot. And my second most ignored was the Executor class, a cross between Soul Calibur's Mitsurugi and an armoured gimp suit. I did however enjoy swording out incoming attackers with his deflection skill. And hey, the satisfaction of transforming into a primordial beast is clawful amounts of fun. I did pal around more with the Tony Hawk of tanking, the Guardian class, which is all about attracting aggro and then repackaging it as avian-based abuse. I saved many a team with his showy dive bomb ultimate arts, though I had slightly more fun with the raw power Raider class with his stagger-tastic knuckle sandwiches. That dude's Leroy Jenkins tendencies can be enhanced with an ultimate art that basically drops a bloody big thwomp block down. And said cube can even create the old Obi-Wan advantage, as in high ground, for my actual favourite class. And that would be Iron Eye, aka Legolas on steroids. He's defined by a bee's dick of a health bar, but also a bottomless quiver. I honestly never thought I would dig playing Elden Ring like a third-person shooter, but I have to say, it's brilliant fun. Especially if you know when to dash stab in to mark targets for hellacious damage. And there are big numbers aplenty when you combine that skill with an ultimate shot fired from what looks to be God's favourite harp. When it comes to audio-visual presentation, Nightreign toes the line between bleak gothic horror and vibrant fantasy. There are some deliciously diverse biomes, freaky caves and fetching vistas to drink in as you're threading your way through an interesting new cast of monsters, each with their own pain-in-the-arse surprises. And all of that eye candy is complemented yet again with another spine-tingly score of choir-backed trumpet fanfares that sell every iota of the on-screen epic battles. When it comes to performance, however, I wasn't particularly happy with some random frame rate chugs, which manifested in especially crowded brouhahas. Admittedly, it was intermittent stuff, and nothing that I couldn't take in my stride and deal with, but disappointing nonetheless. I also had 3 crashes to desktop, which pissed me off greatly. The good news there, Nightreign does technically have a system where it will try to re-establish contact with your previous session, which did work for me. That being said, you are then unfairly penalised by automatically losing a hard-earned level, which then makes you the weakest link in the group. And you have to leg it over to where your posse now is in the world, a journey that will further cheat you out of yet more XP. And I gotta say, sometimes clawing your way back is futile. With all that being laid out, is Elden Ring Nightreign a must-play? I still say absolutely, if you go in with your squad primed and you have a willingness to adapt and support. As for soloists, it is technically possible to eke out an existence in Nightreign, maybe get some better runes and progress a few steps in the Remembrance storylines and dabble in some craters, but understand it'll be hellaciously tough and devoid of the true magic of emergent and surprising co-opportunities that deserve to be shared. At present, Nightreign is technically temperamental and occasionally unfair, but I honestly believe that it's just a small polish away from true greatness. Its just one more go appeal is undeniable. I can't wait to finish this damn review and get back into it, and I expect to see each and every one of you in Limveld at launch. All I ask? Don't hog Iron Eye, because he's mine.